We're live here at Podcast Junkies, Boca Raton, here with my co-host Matt. Can never get the intro right,
That
but who
energy
fucking
was
cares?
so ass.
You want to start doing the intro?
No, but we're live. Like, what?
All right, well, we're going to keep working on these. Football season will be good to go. Here with my co-host, Mons. How we feeling today, Mons?
Good, bro.
I'm excited to get some
Rejuvenated,
Costco
refreshed.
$1.50 dogs after
Yes,
this
I
show.
owe you 2 hot dogs.
He owes me 2 hot dogs, everyone. And I'm looking at the What's Up t-shirt right now. Great place. We'll always shout out What's Up. Antonio's the fucking man. But we have a very special guest on, keeping the energy high today. We have Chad, the Bookie Bandit. Welcome, Chad.
How we doing, boys?
Good.
Bro. How are you?
Having me on.
Yes, sir. Well, live from Boise, Idaho. That's kind of a rare sighting there. How'd you end up back in Boise?
Well, I was out in Florida for a couple of years working. Originally, I'm from Boise, so when I wasn't having to be in Florida for work, it just made sense to move back home, be closer to family, friends. So it's been awesome.
The home of Ashton Genty, as we all know, and the blue turf. So
yeah, live right next to the blue turf. I can actually, whenever they score a touchdown, I can hear it from my house. So.
Holy shit.
That's got to be awesome. How often do you go to the games?
I mean, I've been out of Boise for like 4 or 5 years now. So.
Oh, is this your first fall back home?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll definitely, rip a couple of games this year. It's unfortunate Genty won't be there, but who knows? Maybe we'll find another guy.
Yeah, well, speaking of, before we dive into your background, some of that stuff, how do you think Genty's going to be in the NFL? A lot of people have him as Rookie of the Year. What are your thoughts on Genty, just being from Boise?
Dude, I mean, obviously I'm biased, but the dude's an absolute savage. I don't know how he's going to, it might take a couple years with the Raiders offensive line, but I mean, you guys saw what he did on the field. The dude's a savage. So I'm excited to watch him for sure.
Him and Brock Bowers, it's going to be exciting. But Chad, sure. Bookie Bandit, we would love to start off by just, learning about what made you start kind of sports betting and becoming a handicapper.
Yeah. So I actually started back in college. It was my sophomore year of college. I was playing ball over in Washington. And the funny thing is, I didn't even know sports betting was a thing at the time. We were actually taking BP batting practice one day. And I just remember one of my good buddies, Kobe, he was just, every time he wasn't hitting, he was just sweating out a game. And I was like, dude, like, why do you care that much? And he kind of told me, like, dude, I got money on the game. And that was kind of the first time I've like heard that you can like put money on sports. So that night, naturally went home, created a Bovada account, and the rest is history. And I actually ended up paying my way through college through sports betting. So
wow,
that's how I got my start.
So you went to Washington, like University of Washington?
So I played JUCO ball at Walla Walla.
Okay. Matt's a baseball player himself in high school.
You're a JUCO bandit.
Let's go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's awesome. Yeah, I wish I had the opportunity. I barely even played high school, JV. So you two are much more athletic than me. But speaking of the sports betting, just your background. So you were showing me a crazy parlay you hit last year. I would love to hear more about that. And I would love to hear also kind of the worst beat you have, or like the worst leg of a parlay that you've missed out on that's happened in your sports betting experience.
Oh, dude, we could be here all day if I had to talk about my bad beats. But yeah, so the parlay you brought up. So it was last football season. And keep in mind, I just, started my like sports content pages probably about a month before this parlay hit. So this is the parlay that kind of, made my pages take off.
Yeah.
And allowed me to go full time on, sports betting and, content. So, yeah, it was week 15 of NFL last year. And I always just craft up like a, fun little Hail Mary parlay. And I'll post them out on my threads, so other people can tell them for fun. And so, yeah, week 15, crafted up a 15-leg parlay. It was the day after the Thursday night game. So I didn't have the Thursday night game in this slip, but it was every other game on the slate. And I picked every single game on the money line. Besides one game, I just picked an alternate spread because I was a little bit sketched about it. But yeah, I can just read it off to you guys. So 15 legs. We had the Cowboys over the Panthers. That was plus money. Jets over the Jags. Texans over the Dolphins. Commanders over the Saints. Ravens over the Giants. Bengals over the Titans. Eagles over the Steelers. Vikings over the Bears. Chiefs plus 10.5. They were playing the Browns. For some reason, I just didn't want to take the money line. They always struggle against the Browns. So I took plus 10.5. That hit. Cardinals over the Patriots. Bills over the Lions. That was plus money. Broncos over the Colts. Packers over the Seahawks. Falcons over the Raiders. And Bucks over the Chargers, which was plus money as well. That was a 705x payout. I only put $5 on it, but it brought home a little over 3,500. And
that's fucking crazy. The odds of that. I have never been as close to hitting something like that. So, what were you sweating out? I know the Packers played the Seahawks on Sunday Night Football. Were you sweating out?
Yep.
What was the last leg of that parlay?
So funny enough, that was one of the weeks where there was 2 Monday night games.
Oh, that was the one with the dog shit Monday night game with the Raiders, right? Yeah.
And as you guys know, for some reason, they don't split up the Monday night games. So they're like 15, 30 minutes apart.
Yeah, it's stupid.
I had the dual screen up on my TV, getting whiplash, going back and forth every play.
Yeah, that one game was terrible. The Raiders game, I remember specifically being just no offense.
Well, funny enough, that was the last leg of the parlay, and it came down to the Raiders having the ball on the last drive, and a touchdown would have won it for them. And it came down to a 30, 40-yard Hail Mary that luckily got batted down. So it was about as sweaty as it gets. But the coolest part was I posted that parlay on my threads. You guys know what threads is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I posted that parlay on my threads like Thursday night. So come Sunday, it's getting all this traction. It had a couple 100,000 views at that point. So there was thousands of people riding with me. And then, obviously come Monday, once it hit, everything exploded. All my pages took off. I had so many clients, come in overnight. It was truly life-changing for me. So very thankful for that parlay for coming through for all of us.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Chad, at what point did you realize that you were a better than average sports bettor and you could make this a career and make money off handicapping?
I mean, really, it was just back in college. Obviously my strategy now is completely different than it was back in college. But, back in college, all of my friends, all of my buddies, like, they saw what I was doing. And, it got to the point where it's like every day, I had people texting me or calling me like, yo, what do you got for today? And then just, seeing over time the bank account grow. So that's kind of what it is. And honestly, when I have free time, all I do is just watch sports, study sports, look at lines. So, it kind of gives me a one up there as well.
Mm-hmm. And now, are you more of a gut feeling kind of guy, or would you say that you're more line movement and watching where the sharp money comes in and that type of a handicapper?
So honestly, both.
Okay.
Because it just kind of depends on the slate. Sometimes there's a great slate, sometimes there's not. So most of the time it will be gut feel, right? Because I'm a big money line. I'll pick my favorite games of the day, and I'll parlay up the money lines together. So a couple heavy juiced money line parlays. If I don't like the slate, I don't have a good gut feeling about anything. That's when I kind of get into the reading the lines, seeing where the sharp money's at, seeing what the public's on. So it just kind of depends day to day, but for the most part, definitely a gut feeling better.
Gotcha. And when we talked, Chad, before the show, you were telling me a lot about your parlay betting. We already touched on one of them. Is that the only type of bet you send out? And why do you like parlay betting so much?
So it's not the only bets that I send out, but it is the majority.
Okay.
Right? So my favorite thing to do is, like I said, I'll pick X amount of games on the slate, and I'll take them on the money line or alternate spreads. I love alternate spreads as well, especially come football season. But yeah, I'll take, two or three of my favorite games on the money line, parlay them up, get it close to even money. Minus 110, minus 120, even a minus 130, and throw a couple units on it. And when I do that strategically, right, if I'm not doing plus money bets, I always do an odd amount of bets or parlays, right? Because if I'm doing, like, let's say I send out a couple minus 120 parlays. If I were to send out two of those, you would have to hit both in
Yeah.
order to profit for the day. Whereas if I just send out three or five, if I send out three, then I can go 2 out of 3 and still profit on the day. So, it's just small little edges like that most people don't really realize, but it makes a big difference. So,
Yeah, and Chad, in terms of sports, we talked about NFL. What other sports are you big into with the parlaying? Are you doing anything for baseball right now, or you're just mainly like NFL, college football?
dude, literally everything. That's the nice thing about how I bet is, parlaying up heavy favorites on the money line is you can touch any sport as long as you have a little bit of knowledge. So football, right? NFL, college football, MLB, college baseball. We've been hammering college baseball, the last few weeks, especially with the regionals. You can do tennis, right, with this strategy. Every once in a while, I'll send out like a late night Korean baseball, for the boys. So it's really whatever you can get your hands on. So yeah.
And going back to, we were talking about the most, your worst. We talked about your best bet, but what about your worst beat that you've had over the past year, let's say?
True. I totally forgot to bring that up.
Hey, you're good. You're good. Everybody always forgets about that one, but I know I've had too many to count. Can't even count on my 10 figures here.
Yeah, I have a lot of them, but there's one in particular that I still lose sleep over.
Oh man.
And believe it or not, it was last NFL season as well. It was National Tight Ends Day. So I don't remember quite what week that is. It's usually 7, 8, or 9.
Yeah.
So National Tight Ends Day, I decided to put together a little anytime touchdown parlay. I picked 8 guys to score a touchdown, all tight ends. And I'll just read it out to you. I have it pulled up here. So we had Mark Andrews, anytime touchdown, he hit. Kyle Pitts, he hit. Evan Ingram, he hit. Cade Otton, he hit as well. Dalton Kincaid hit. Tucker Kraft hit. Sam Laporta hit. And then the last leg of the parlay, Dalton Schultz did not score a touchdown. I put $2.62 on this, and it would have brought home $24,945.02.
Was Schultz even getting targets that game? Like, what was the deal with him that game? Were you watching and you're like, Jesus? Or they were all at the same time?
Catches. Yeah, he had a couple catches, but he just couldn't find the end zone. And what makes me the most sick to this day, I still think about it, I swear, every single week, is I could have taken Travis Kelce or George Kittle instead of Dalton Schultz, and they both scored a touchdown that week.
Wow.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was surprised you didn't have Kelce or Kittle in there. That's I know a lot of people who do that for National Tight Ends Day. So where did you actually place that bet? Was that on? We were talking about my bookie a little. Was that where you placed it?
That's where I placed it. So they max you out at when you're doing like the player props. I don't know if it's for everyone, but they maxed me out at $25,000 profit. That's why I only had $2.62 on it.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that one, I lost sleep for a couple days after that one.
Yeah, I would have as well. Matt and I have had our fair share of bad beats as well. Not really in a parlay stuff for me, but I was actually betting on overtime every playoff game, and the Chiefs Bills. I don't know if you remember Tyler Bass missing that field goal really screwed me up there. So that was brutal.
Also, yeah, I actually took a really bad beat last week. Believe it or not, I sent out a 12-leg parlay, and the first 11 legs hit. The last leg of the parlay came down to the Diamondbacks on the money line. They were playing the Pittsburgh Pirates, The Diamondbacks were up 6-0 in the
Oh.
sixth inning
I know the game.
against the Pirates.
You do know that
I
one.
know the game.
Let's be real. The Pirates have one of the worst offenses in the entire MLB.
Not as bad as the Rockies, though.
Right, correct. But they end up scoring 2 in the sixth, so it's 6-2. We're still chilling, right? Nothing happens in the seventh. 6-2. We're still chilling. Eighth inning comes around. Pirates score 7 runs in the eighth inning and just absolutely slaughter us.
I work with a book, and there was lots of action on the Diamondbacks that game, and
I
it was really, really fun to watch. The Pirates put up 7, 8 in the eighth inning.
Dude, I'm sure Vegas built a couple casinos after that.
Jeez. Well, speaking of baseball, we've been talking a lot more baseball because there's been a lot more activity on it just from our clients and people in the space. Would you say in terms of like football, baseball, just all the sports, what's the most profitable sport been for you and why for betting purposes?
College football and NFL by far. One, that's by far my favorite sport. I feel like it's most people's favorite sport. And two, I basically double and triple my units when it comes to football season. So
now, did you even have a good football season last year with how rough it was for NFL?
I had an amazing season because, as you guys know, I'm a heavy favorite parlay bettor. And last year was the year of the favorites, so I had an amazing season last year.
Wow!
And obviously that 15-leg parlay helped out.
Oh yeah, of course.
You're one of the few that we've talked to about that. So what is your reasoning, I guess, behind like taking the big favorites? I'm actually a kind of a little bit different of approach and taking a lot of underdogs and stuff, which bit me last year, all year, especially in prime time and stuff. But what is your kind of strategy, with that specifically in the NFL? Let's say.
I mean, for me, it's I like betting on the better quarterbacks most of the time, right? Because no matter what the score is, they always have a chance.
Exactly.
I also like betting on, the better defenses, right? Because if you have a good D line putting pressure on the quarterback, like it's going to be a long day for the other offense.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my strategy. There's so many different strategies when it comes to NFL, right? There's home field advantage. There's, different matchups to look for. Obviously, injuries are huge. Weather reports, right? If Miami's playing somewhere cold, you're going to fade them all day long, right?
Oh, yeah. That's definitely an auto fade, especially being down here in South Florida. They're interesting.
But when it comes to college football, my favorite way to bet, obviously, I still do my, money line parlays, but have you guys heard of the term rat line?
I've heard it used before, yes.
So really, it works with any college sports, college basketball, college football, but something to look out for. Basically, what it is, let's give a hypothetical scenario here, right? Let's say Alabama is ranked 20th, okay, and they're playing Georgia, who's ranked number 3.
Mm-hmm.
But Alabama comes in as the favorite, right? Let's say they're -3.5, okay, on the spread. Most people, most of the public, they're going to see the number 3 ranked team as an underdog and think they're getting insane value, right? We're getting 3.5 points. Let's lay that and let's lay the money line. Whereas for me, the way my brain operates is Vegas knows something that we don't here. Why is the number 20th team favorited over the number 3 ranked team?
Oh yeah, it happens in college all the time. Yeah, I've noticed that over the years.
In that instance, I always lay the spread on the favorite every single time. If it's like a -1.5, -2.5, you can lay the money line just to be a little more safe, put a little extra juice on it. But that's one of my favorite ways to bet any college sports, and it's hitting at an insane clip, almost 70% clip.
Yeah. It's crazy when you get those edges, and there's a lot of edges for college sports specifically. Let me see what else I got for you here. Oh, in terms of, so we do a lot of it. Wanted to hear your opinion. Have you ever dabbled into live betting, or is that something you haven't really touched or sent out to clients?
I've dabbled in it for sure. Early on in my days. Nowadays, I don't really do it just because, personally, I like putting action in on a game and rooting for one team the entirety of the game. Whereas when you're live betting, it's like you're going in with the mindset, all right, I need this team to go down, and then I'm gonna, put money on them, and then hopefully they come back. For me, it's like I'd rather just put action in before the game and just root for the same team the whole game, and hopefully they blow them out. But obviously, there is really good money when it comes to live betting. I just personally don't like to really dabble with that.
It gets to be a lot NFL for me.
Yeah.
Speaking of your social media channels and your growth there, what are your plans kind of this season or college and NFL for like on YouTube, Instagram? Are you a lot of like lives or shorts? What's kind of your content strategy? What should people be looking forward to you from this upcoming season?
Yeah. So, yeah, I have YouTube. I try to get free pick videos out every single day on YouTube. Um, backed with a little bit of analytics. I use Outlier Bet, to kind of show some statistics of player props and stuff like that. So I'll be giving out, a couple free picks on YouTube almost every single day. Threads, I always send out a Hail Mary parlay and maybe even a free parlay. Um, and then Instagram, honestly, I don't really use Instagram as much as I should be. I just kind of, use my story on Instagram to, show my winning slips or, stuff like that. So definitely, check out my YouTube. Free picks basically every single day for you guys. And yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're trying to get more into YouTube. We had a video hit almost 1 million this year, but yeah, we've been on TikTok and Instagram the longest, and definitely Threads is something we got to get more into here. In terms of, yeah, there's just so many platforms out there.
Yeah, there really is.
In terms of one thing we preach for our customers is definitely line shopping. Are you just betting on my bookie? Like, what do you recommend for your clients when you send out these different type of parlays and stuff?
Yeah, so obviously line shopping's huge. For me, with where I live, I don't have that many options to choose from. So I'm very, very loyal to my bookie. They've treated me well. Um, so that's where I place most of my bets. Basically, almost every single bet. They also give me a 2% parlay boost every single leg that I add to the parlay. Um, so that's why I'm super loyal to my bookie. They treat me well. They also give me rake backs, if I have a losing week. But if you do have the options to explore other sports books, 100% recommend it. Line shopping is huge. You're leaving money on the table, if you're not doing that. So
Yeah, we'll have clients that will take our bets and parlay them, which is different than what you do. But even if they parlay your bets, they'll probably add a couple more legs to it and then be like, yo, what the fuck? Like, the
every
bet
time.
missed. And it's like, dude, I didn't tell you to add 3 more legs to the parlay kind of thing. So,
Yeah, I get messages every single day like, man, I added an extra leg and got screwed. Like,
we
yep,
hear it. We
that's
hear it
how it
all.
goes.
We hear it all the time. So, to kind of wrap up here, would love for you to talk about your top 3 kind of for new sports bettors, and then maybe your top number 1 thing for more experienced sports bettors in terms of your tips and tricks for that.
Yeah, this one's easy. Honestly, you guys have probably heard it a million times. The thing I try to preach the most to all my clients: managing your bankroll, uh, having a proper unit size, and having discipline. Right? If you have those 3 things, and you're either following someone who has consistent picks or you have consistent picks yourself, you're going to profit long term most of the time. Where people go wrong is, if they lose a bet early in the morning, they're going to double down late at night to try to get that coin back. But if you manage your bankroll, have a proper unit size to where you could go on a cold streak and still have plenty of money in your account, and you have discipline, those are the 3 biggest keys when it comes to sports betting and profiting long term.
That's the toughest thing with degenerates. Getting them to unit size and do all that stuff is the hardest part. Before we wrap up here, Matt, you got any questions?
No, I agree with those 3 points. It's extremely important with the unit sizing and whatnot, and it's easy to talk about when it's not yourself in that position, or when it's not your money or whatnot, because of course when you're in the heat of the moment and you're battling the books, that
was me during March Madness. Exactly. The disaster of the March Madness.
You always want to dive in for more. So I like that you put such value on that, and that should definitely be something that you're preaching very regularly to your group and whatnot. Are you a Discord or Telegram group guy?
Discord.
Yep. Got it. Well, make sure to check that out.
We were on Discord for a while, and we switched back to Telegram. Matt's a big Telegram guy, so
love Telegram.
Made the switch back to Telegram. Yeah, it's just
Dude, I'm always getting spammed on my threads. People will comment their Telegram under my post, trying to get all my clients over. So yeah, I'm a big Discord guy, but no hate on Telegram.
We've used both. I don't know. I got mixed opinions on it.
Yeah, I don't know. It works. Both of them get the job done. I just feel like Discord can be a little bit more
too many channels.
Yeah,
sometimes.
Tricky to navigate where the picks are. That's literally it. And Telegram's just easier to chop
we just like we like chopping it up with the guys, especially some of our long-term clients there. So
100%. Yeah, I love just chopping it up, whether we're losing on the day or winning. It's fun just sweating it out with the other people in the group. So
yes, sir. But Chad, thank you so much for coming on. Where can the people find you? Just under Bookie Bandit under anything, or is there a different name for anything?
So it's actually Bookie 3_Bandit on Threads and Instagram, and then just Bookie 1_Bandit on YouTube.
Gotcha. Somebody else took it before you, I guess.
Dude, I know. I'm late to the game.
Hey, but you're gonna be your big name. Gonna be a big name in this space. Already are. Thank you, Chad, so much for coming on. We look forward to staying in touch. And I'm gonna tell you on some of these favorite parlays this football season. I need the help in that front because I'm always a big underdog thinker. So
definitely, yep. Hit me up whenever. And I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for having me on. And maybe we can rip another episode come football season.
Yes, sir. Football
Absolutely,
season.
Bro.
Nice meeting you, brother.
Cool. Nice meeting you guys. Peace.
Take care.
Later. He's a handsome bastard.
Why you gotta say that on camera?
He's a handsome bastard. Ben.
We need some the clock again.
Oh, Ben's getting yelled at.
He's not getting yelled at.
No, I agree.
The clock.
No, I got you. No, I was like, oh, he's a good-looking guy.
Yeah, he's a
I've
handsome
never
bastard.
you've never said that on an episode before.
We haven't had a handsome bastard on before.
He's gonna think you're into him.
No, I'm definitely not into him. It is June though, so happy Pride Month, everybody.
All right. Before we get sidetracked, let's talk about the breaking news. Tom Thibodeau getting let go from the Knicks.
Fuck him.
Well, yeah.
Fuck his Knicks.
Well, yeah. Fuck him and fuck the Knicks. But who are they? I don't think getting a new coach solves their problem.
Yes, it does. Well, it doesn't solve the problem. I still don't think that they're a going to win the NBA Finals team. But I mean, you know exactly what you were getting with Tibbs. You were getting 50 to 60 wins. You were getting a playoff berth, and that was it. It was on. I mean, let's be real. The Knicks got to the Eastern Conference Finals through luck this year. What do you mean?
They were
You're
up
the one that
2-0.
was sucking the Celtics off left and right all the way up to the playoffs.
You're the Celtics fan.
Yeah, and you were necking them. So what do you mean? It's luck.
All right, whatever.
It's
fuck
luck.
the Knicks.
I'm pumped that he's fired. I couldn't stand watching him on the sidelines.
Dude, he looks like the Penguin.
Yeah, ugly motherfucker.
He
dude.
literally.
Just,
he's like 67.
Oh,
He's fucking
disgusting.
old.
Disgusting.
But I don't even know who they've thought of as replacement options. I don't even know who's fucking out there.
If Doc Rivers can keep getting hired, then Tibbs will be fine. He'll find a job somewhere.
No, he should still get a job. I'm saying for the Knicks to hire. I don't even know what they're looking at. I haven't even looked at the news.
I mean, it broke 5 minutes before we started.
Yeah. But I still don't think. My opinion is they had their chance this year, the Knicks, and that they're not regardless of the coach, unless they get Kevin Durant. I think that pushes them over the top for me.
I mean, yeah, but what would they have to give up to get him?
Get rid of Karl Anthony Towns.
That's not. You're gonna have to give up much more than Cat for.
Give up fucking Hart. Who gives a fuck?
I don't know if they're gonna do all that.
Give up Precious Achua. I don't know. They got some rando ass guys. Fuck Knicks fans though. Overall, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But great guest Chad today, Bookie Bandit. That was awesome. To start off today, very trending topic. Wanted to get your opinion on this. Frank Ragnow, the Lions center, and then David Andrews from your Pats, both retired about 29, I think 30 each of them. Seems like they're way too young. I mean, you got Trent Williams playing, he's 35 as a left tackle. What are your thoughts on just these guys retiring when they, still probably could have a couple of years left here?
Call it a career. They're happy. They're happy with where they're at.
Frank Ragnow went the Lions. Why are you retiring? You got a chance to win the Super Bowl.
He's happy. He's content.
All right. Well, I'm sure you're sad, David Andrews. He won
I
two
mean, yeah,
Super
he
Bowls.
was a pimp. He's a pimp. I loved him back with my Brady era. But yeah, no, I mean, I loved watching him. One of my favorite memories ever was watching him lead block and pump Rex Burkhead into the end zone against the Chiefs.
Oh yeah.
And he ran along the end zone waving goodbye to the Chiefs fans in the AFC Championship game. What was that? I think 18.
It was like 19. Yeah, something like that.
It was like a below freezing game. That was one of my
was it the
core
overtime
memories.
Game?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Before they changed the rule. No, it'll be interesting. I think it's a big loss for the Lions, though. I mean, I've been looking into offensive lines. I think it's a big thing for betting, and we're going to focus a lot more on videos and content around that. But I mean, he was their starting center, all pro. Like that's going to be a huge loss for the Lions. I think
Absolutely.
Along with them losing both coordinators, but that's a whole other thing there. Next up, Stanley Cup. I don't want to dive into it too much, but obviously the local team that we live by down here, the Panthers, rematch against the Oilers here. My thoughts on this are, regardless of who wins, that McDavid's going to win the Conor Smythe trophy as the best player back-to-back. Even if they lose, I think he'll win it again.
I mean, yeah, he might, but it all depends on how the series goes. I mean, are you just saying that because he's the best player in the league?
I'm just saying that because the Panthers are just so well balanced that I just think regardless, even if they win, even if it's 6 games, I think he's such a dominant player. I mean, that's the reason they have him and Draisaitl. Those are the two best guys. But that's my bold prediction that he's going to win it regardless. Even if the series goes 6, I think he'll win it.
Fair enough. I mean, last year it was down 3-0 and came back and brought it to 7. And
I mean, he did dog shit the first couple games. But yeah, I mean, everybody who talks about him, I'm not a big hockey guy, but just that he's that good. And,
yeah, he's a beast. He's an absolute beast. There's a reason that the Oilers are back in the finals again.
But the weird thing is, he only plays a third of the game. That's how it works in hockey.
Yeah, it's hockey.
Yeah, so it's tough. The Panthers have the more balanced team, but I know you don't want the Panthers to win.
Just being down here, there's a lot. It's any area you go to. It's just there's a lot of fake sports fans, and the Panthers get hot, and all of a sudden everybody cares about them. So it's just like,
Yeah.
I also do want to see Connor McDavid win one while he's
in his
playing.
prime.
And prime or not, I just want him to get a ring. I mean, it took Ovi over a decade and a half to get one.
He's doing one more year.
Yeah, and he actually came out and made the Capitals retract their statement. The Caps sent out.
Oh yeah, I know they sent that out.
Sent out a this will be Ovi's last year to season ticket holders, and he came out and was like, "Yeah, no, retract that."
Would if you were a top athlete, would you want to go on a farewell tour or not say anything?
I don't know. I mean, he's gonna get a farewell tour, and he deserves one. I think if you're a legend, some of these guys that get farewell tours don't deserve one.
But LeBron, do you think he should do it or just not tell people and then at the end of the year be like, I'm done? I feel like he will.
I think LeBron's
he's gonna do
ego. LeBron's ego is so big, he's gonna do the farewell tour and all that.
I think he's got 2 more years. I think LeBron's.
I don't know or care.
I know you hate LeBron.
I can't stand him. But Ovi, I mean, I know he does want to play a few more years back home in Russia. He said he wants to finish.
He's 40. That's crazy.
Yeah, he wants to actually officially finish his hockey career playing, back home in Russia. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, I mean, back to the finals. I would like to see Connor McDavid get one. I saw a post the other day. Might have been from Bleacher Report, Open Ice, or someone. It was talking about how the history does not bode well for the Panthers. Gretzky lost his first finals appearance, and then the next year rematched the team and won. Crosby lost his first finals appearance. Next year rematched the team and won.
Oh, okay.
So it's there was a third one too. I forget who the player was, but it's these famous legendary NHL guys who lose their first finals appearances and rematch the team in the second year and get the win in the second one.
I think the big thing for the Panthers that I've been reading up on is just that they have a lot more depth. The Oilers' best 2 players are better than the Panthers, but the third line and just how it works in hockey, especially the Panthers picked up Seth Jones, who's been nasty. So don't want to turn this into a whole hockey thing. But going to the other finals, NBA finals, I mean, in my opinion, this is going to be a fucking worst ratings that are ever going to get. I think the NBA finals is going to be the worst. Indiana and Oklahoma City, who the fuck is going to watch this? No random fans really are going to care.
Yeah, but how many random fans were caring about basically any of these Western Conference playoffs? How many random fans were tuning in?
You
for
mean like
any...
Oklahoma City, Minnesota? I mean, Ant Edwards at least is a star.
Yeah, you don't think SGA is a star?
He is a superstar, but he's not that name brand like,
Not yet. But I mean, out of who was a superstar?
LeBron and Steph. Those are the two guys
I was going to
left.
say left in the playoffs.
Yeah.
There wasn't many. You would have to have Jason Tatum.
I mean, I just don't think anybody gives a shit about the final. This would be awful.
I agree.
This is really bad for the league.
Unless you get a New York sports team, a Boston sports team, or one of the
LA.
huge, LA. It's not gonna.
I mean, but even last year with the finals, Dallas.
Yeah.
I mean, you had Luka. He's a superstar.
Yeah.
And they got killed. And Boston's a big brand. This year, it's nothing. I think it's gonna be the worst ratings we've ever had. That's my prediction.
Ratings are not. Hopefully, the bets go the house's way.
Who do you think's gonna win the series?
Thunder.
How many games?
I like 5, but I'll give the Pacers.
I'm gonna
6.
go Thunder and 5 plus 210. That's my bet for the series.
Well, I like 5, but I'll give the Pacers 6.
I think I wouldn't be shocked if the Pacers split in Oklahoma City
that's
and
what
then
I'm saying.
lose
I
two
mean,
at home.
But if they have any chance of splitting in OKC, they need Halliburton to turn it back on.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, those final 2 games, what was he doing?
Well, I will say the experience, especially with Siakam having won one and then Rick Carlisle, I think they'll get one. But Oklahoma City is just... It's crazy how many draft picks and what they've done. Like, remember when they had Durant and all that, and now what they've moved to? It's impressive what they're doing in that small market. I mean, they sell out the arena and all that. I'll throw it on. Do I really care that much? No. If it was Celtics Lakers this year, I mean, the ratings would be.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's one of the best rivalries in all of sports.
But even if it was Celtics Warriors, you get Steph. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's the European guys of the NBA are just not as, or not even European. Shea and Halliburton aren't even European. So it's just 2 small markets. Hopefully we get a decent series. So that's it for the NBA Finals. That's my prediction. Thunder in 5s. But wanted to dive into, Matt, a little bit on the sportsbook side, your favorite subject here. We were talking with the Bookie Bandit about like payouts and stuff. How does someone who's new to betting, especially both onshore and offshore, how does someone guarantee like a payout on FanDuel, DraftKings versus like guaranteeing a payout on an offshore book?
That question made no sense to me.
Really?
Yeah, 0 sense. How does one guarantee?
Like if you put your money into FanDuel or you bet through a bookie, how do you know you're going to get, like, are the odds the same of you getting paid out?
No.
You think that FanDuel and DraftKings will actually pay you out more than a random bookie?
Well, I have been stiffed by a bookie. I've never been stiffed by FanDuel or DraftKings.
Well, I mean, Hard Rock did that whole thing with me last year.
They didn't stiff you.
They've stiffed some people.
Who have they stiffed?
Beating the bookie. I'm showing you that thing that he got stiffed.
They point blank did not pay him.
They did not pay him, yes. That's why he hates them.
I need to see that again.
I'll show you it again.
Because that's honestly unheard of. Like, that is the one thing. Like, that's why these sharp group and syndicate groups love betting on the onshores when they can get someone to give them up. Like, yeah, you cook your onshores and you cook all your legals, but you can make a quick, I don't know, 50, 100 grand, and you're going to get paid because it's an automatic payout. If the bet hits, you get paid. So I'm very intrigued to see this Hard Rock part. But yeah, that was a weird question.
Sorry.
You random bookies can and will stiff you, definitely.
Yeah.
That's why it's so important to find a good one and a good quality one that has backing and can afford to be a bookie.
Well, speaking of, the term sharp betting is thrown around in this industry a lot. What is your opinion or definition of sharp betting, and should people blindly follow somebody who's a sharp?
No, you should not blindly follow a sharp. A sharp bet is simply getting good value for a bet. It does not mean it's going to win. It does not mean it has a higher probability of winning. It is just simply, I got on Tuesday morning when the NFL lines opened up, or Monday, whatever, and Pats Jets over under was 52.
Yeah.
And I took the under, and at kickoff, that bet is now over under is 48. You beat the line by 4 points. You have a sharp bet. Now, does that mean that your over under is going to hit? No. Just means you got a sharp bet.
Yeah. Got the line before it moved.
I mean, I'm very, very connected with sharps and legitimate sharps and line movers and originators. And I mean, even world famous poker players like Phil Ivey. He is a huge, huge sharp player in the sports betting space. routinely that guy is dumping hundreds of thousands of dollars a week on sharp plays. It's good value plays, but still losing. Again, there is no such thing as a guaranteed winner.
Yeah.
If you got one, then it's probably insider info, and please hit me up.
Well, that is true. There are, especially in college, there's a lot of insider stuff that'll never change. For that,
you get some college schmuck into his bookie for like 25, 50K. Can't afford it. Just shave some points real quick.
Speaking of, whatever happened with Otani's interpreter? Anything ended up happening there with him?
The face of the MLB, bro. He swept it under the rug. He's the face of the league. What would happen if Patrick Mahomes had a steroid test come back positive? They're sweeping that shit.
Yeah, they should.
They are
and as they should, because he is the best quarterback in the league.
He sucks.
What do you mean he sucks? You think they're gonna make the playoffs?
The Chiefs?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's been some talk.
They're
going to
make the playoffs.
Colin Cowherd.
They have a very easy division. They're going to make the playoffs.
Easy division? What are you smoking? What the fuck?
Go off on their division, Simon.
Really?
Tell me why they're so good.
You want me to go off on it?
Tell me why their division is so good.
All right. First of all, the coaches in that fucking division. Are you kidding me?
Tell me about the division.
Do you know the coaches in the division? You do know the coaches.
Yes.
Harbaugh, Pete Carroll, and fucking Sean Payton. The Broncos were in the playoffs last year, and they're just getting better. They had a rookie quarterback. The Chargers, their O-line was a mess in that playoff game, but they're still going to be right there. And the Raiders improved significantly just with the coach getting a fucking running back and their quarterback play. So
Raiders are going to be sub 500.
It's 7-10 or 8-9 maybe.
So that's not making the playoffs.
No,
so
but the three other teams I see as,
who are you taking to win the division? You have to pick a bet.
Chargers.
That's a bad bet.
All right, fine.
I mean, it might be a good value bet, but it's a bad. I mean, again, you know in your heart that the team that will likely win that division.
The Chiefs went 12-0 in one possession games. Like that's not happening this year. It's not happening.
Really, just like the Celtics, we're going to win the finals.
All right. Well, you have no hot takes or no takes at all. So until you start.
That's why you don't bet with your heart, buddy.
Well, I've been watching the stupid Patriots thing, so getting into them, they're going to be good this year.
They'll be decent.
They'll be solid. All right. Well, diving briefly into just some hot topics here. Madden 26 cover. I know you don't give two fucks about Madden, but I am hoping that Saquon gets the Madden curse this year. I hate the fucking Eagles, as everybody knows with me. And it was cool that they did the photo from the Jaguars game, whatever, but fuck Saquon. That's all I have to say about Madden. So we can maybe clip that or whatever. I know you don't want to talk about it. But another thing, Masters, the ticket lottery came out. I know you're big. That was on your bucket list of items. Same with me here, of events we want to attend. Do you know what the price is per day if you actually get it through that?
No.
$160. Not bad.
Not bad at all.
So you got that and the food being cheap. I mean, why aren't more events doing this? Why is this fucking event-driven culture so greedy in this country? Super Bowl's fucking...
because of celebrities and stuff, man. I mean, you got... the fuck's that loser's name? Timothy Chalamet or whatever, sitting courtside with Jenner. Dude doesn't show up to one Knicks game all year. Playoffs roll around.
Wait, are they dating?
Yeah. And he's like dapping up Cat and shit. Like... Dude, like, I don't know. I mean, again, like, I was talking with one of my boys back home. He's a huge Knicks fan. And he was making fun of the entire celebrity courtside row. Like, the only one who actually, and I can't stand him.
Spike?
Yes, but deserves to be there is Spike.
Yeah, that was like with the Lakers. Jack Nicholson always goes, even if they're shitty. Like, there's certain fans that are, but yeah, and then you get the bandwagon. It's like, Chalamet is probably not showing up to a single fucking regular season.
He's a fucking loser.
Is he? He's a pretty good actor, though.
I know he is.
And he's dating Kylie Jenner.
Yeah, well.
I didn't even know they were fucking.
Jesus. I mean, yeah.
Maybe they're not.
If they're dating, they're probably
He's probably going
cracking.
to Diddy parties. But Matt, we got a new segment here. Speaking of, our intern actually came up with it. Podium picks. We've talked about this before a little bit. You definitely didn't read the doc, so it's fine. You're going into this blind, which will be good. Well, this is the first part of the segment. We'll be doing this every week. But we've talked about this. We kind of just shit on Knicks fans. Your top 3 worst sports fans, you can pick every sport.
Huh?
Top 3 like worst like fans that you fucking hate. Like you think like
okay,
I don't like
number one,
Eagles.
It's New York sports fans. Any New York sports team besides the Mets.
Okay, they're number 1.
No,
pick.
I can't stand them. I will fucking always die on that hill.
Okay,
like I only support. The only reason that I support the Mets is because I'm a Red Sox fan, and when the Mets do well, it makes Yankee fans mad. And I just don't attribute the Mets to being like an actual New York sports team, even though they are. So every New York sports team besides the Mets.
Number one. That's your number one pick, though. The top.
Yeah, I can't stand them the most.
Okay.
It's funny because I want to hate Philly fans, but 9 times out of 10, same type of thing. When the Philly sports do well, it pisses off New York sports fans, which makes me happy. So it's like, do I hate the fandom? Yes. Philly fans are definitely on the more piece of shit side of sports, but I also love how much it pisses New York sports fans off. So I'll give them like the number 2 or number 3 spot, either or, just because I don't like when they like throw batteries at people and shit, but like, or like throw garbage at people. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. I don't know. I have a weird thing there. Again, all this goes back to just me hating New York. Sports, New York, the
You got to
city.
name one more.
I don't know, dude. I don't care about enough sports fans that much. Just literally just New York. I guess, I don't know.
What about LA?
No, I don't really. What does LA do to me?
Nothing.
They're just the Lakers.
We're going out there this month, though.
I know,
So
we
very
are.
excited.
I'm excited.
Wow, just 2.
I mean, yeah, I don't really have a hatred. I mean, I guess as a Pats fan, like the Bills, but like I kind of that's also kind of New York sports.
That's weird with the.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a third. I don't mind sports teams that much. Like,
all right. Well, I
about
already
you?
have. I'll do.
I know
more
it's Philly.
The Eagles number 1.
Yeah.
Nothing like the Sixers, whatever the Flyers. I don't need to go on the tangent about the Eagles fans. They're number 1. I would say number 2 is the Knicks fans.
Oh, you wanted teams, not cities.
Yeah, we'll go back to your teams. You'll do top 3 teams.
Yeah, that's easier for me then.
So Knicks, and is number 2 for sure. We saw it with the polls and all that. We grew up in Jersey, and it's just I was a Nets fan growing up. Now I don't really care about the NBA. And then third, actually more from a growing up experience, but like they were just super. I mean, I guess you're gonna be like, these are like worse sports fans in my opinion, just like people to deal with. Giants fans, New York.
Oh, I was gonna put.
Yeah,
I have a different hatred, but that's just because they ruined my childhood.
they just would like suck Eli Manning off.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you won 17-14 and 21-7. Like your defense played incredible.
Yeah.
Arguably the best offense of all time. And I get it, you beat the GOAT Brady, but Giants fans just fucking annoying. So yeah, Eagles by far, Knicks, Giants, and then another like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of other. I feel like it's all the Northeast.
Yeah, because we're douchebags.
What about college? I know you love Bama.
I love Bama just because I'm a
lot of people hate them. I don't
slut.
have anything against them.
Like a
What about, like,
college.
Duke?
Nah, college is like I can't stand A&M.
Really?
A&M fans because they suck. Like literally, I can't tell you one time that A&M.
You know who you do like? Tennessee fans.
I love Tennessee.
Rocky Top, baby. What
Rocky
a fucking
Top.
song. We will bury Mons at Rocky Top.
No, I want to be buried at Bama.
Wow.
Fucking Brian
I'll
Denny.
spread the ashes there.
There you go.
Even though I'm like 7 years older than you. All right, let's go back to the cities. Let's hear it for the people.
Yeah, so I mean,
top
all right,
3
like,
teams, not cities now.
Teams like I can't stand the most, Yankees. Number 2, can't stand them. See, it's just gonna be all New York, Knicks and Giants. Like
fine.
Giants and Knicks. Like Giants ruined my childhood, and I was a Pats fan growing up in New Jersey, so that was just 07 and 11 were miserable for me, and whatever. And then Knicks fans, like it's just goes back to everything with New York. You have not done anything
in 30 years,
over a decade. No, it's been. I mean, they just won us 2 Super Bowls within 30 years. But you have not done anything in over
for having
a decade.
2 teams
Exactly.
each. Like LA, like they've actually won.
Yeah, they've won shit.
Yeah.
The finals in the COVID year. They won the World Series twice.
The Kings won a couple. The hockey team.
I know they beat the Devils in 2012. But, like, yes, LA has warranted the right to be douchey.
Other than the Clippers. But the Clippers fans are non-existent.
Like, holy shit. Knicks fans, New York fans as a whole, like, you don't deserve the right to act the way you do.
They win a playoff series and they fucking jumping on, the whole city shuts down. I'm like, at least
they don't pay their bookies.
At least Eagles fans have won some shit.
Yeah, they have.
I got to give them props for that. They're just fucking annoying as hell, and now their roster is nasty. And speaking of the NFL kind of shaking up this year with Jalen Hurts. I've heard a lot of chatter about Jalen Hurts not being a great passer. What are your thoughts on that? Not a great passer, but like, you know, people are kind of throwing him under the rug, and it's like, dude, he did have a great passing year last year. Like, he is a top 10 quarterback.
It's the same thing as Lamar and whatnot. People are always just going to find their narratives and stick with them. It's that simple. I mean, again, he's got 2 Super Bowl appearances. Has Jalen missed the playoffs ever?
As a starter? I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean,
the Eagles have been good.
Never missed the
every year.
playoffs. 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl win, 1 Super Bowl MVP. I mean, what more do you want from him?
Yeah. No, I mean, he's beat the Chiefs. He's been in it twice. Yeah. Like, I got to give the guy props there. Speaking of their division, while we're on the football topic, we didn't really talk about it that much, but I was looking at like rankings of top wide receiver duos, and CD and Pickens came in at number 8. What are your thoughts on CD and Pickens, that tandem this year with Dak?
Sorry.
You're good.
Yep. Hold a little
Jewishness. That's all right.
That was a Jewish move for sure, right when I had to speak. Oh, my bad. Yeah, we're back. Yeah, I think they're going to be a really good duo. I mean, CD is one of the best route runners, one of the best hands in the league. He's already a certified stud. Pickens has had some rough QB play and has produced year in and year out. So, you know.
And now he has Dak, the most consistent quarterback he's had. Across from CD, he's going to get less coverage. I think they're a top 8. I think that's a fair take.
Who they have at 1?
Guess. Who do you think? It's pretty easy in my opinion. It's like 1. It's
is
not
it
even
AJ
close.
and Devonta?
No, that was 2.
Is it Tyreek and Waddle?
Oh, you're fucking missing the big one, bro. Jeez. You're missing 2 of the bigger teams that should be in this.
I don't know who.
Number 1 was Cincy.
Oh, duh, yeah.
And then number 3 was Minnesota with Jefferson and Addison, more of the Jefferson side.
Yeah, I feel like that's given a lot of love to Addison, who's a good player. Don't get me wrong,
but I think they're getting more of the Jefferson.
Yeah, that's like 85.
I think Chase and Higgins were by far 1.
You're right.
But I was surprised the Eagles were 2. Amon-Ra and Jameson Williams were left off of like the top 8.
I'm okay with that.
Who else do you think was in the top couple? You got Tyreek, that was in there. There's one you're going to be like, why are they in there? They're fucking old. But one of them's a beast. He's had like 1,000 yards receiving every year.
Well, okay. Now it's Evans and
Godwin. Yeah.
What's up with him? Is he re-signed with the Bucs?
Yeah, he's re-signed. The number 5 team, Rams with Puka and Devontae. I like that duo.
Oh yeah,
that's a nice duo there.
Yeah.
Devontae's older. You got Puka in there. But that's that. Any last words for the people, Mons? Belmont Stakes Saturday, another big horse race. Yeah, really getting into the horsies here.
Big pony day. I'm excited. I don't know who I'm gonna be betting on, but I definitely will be sprinkling some money on some ponies.
We'll probably be at the Gulfstream on Saturday. They have an endless buffet, and we're about to go get some Costco hot dogs. But Ben, it's been a pleasure. No sound effects today from Ben, but that's all right. He's eating a sandwich back there. Great episode again. Thanks, Podcast Junkies here in Boca Raton. We're looking forward to having more guests on coming up. But Chad, you were great to have, and follow us, Make Vegas Pay everywhere, YouTube, Instagram, and have a great week.